Good morning, everybody. We are live coming to you on the Smart Money Culture TV network on your TVs in Texas and Louisiana, as well as streaming around the world on X, YouTube, LinkedIn, and the rest. Really exciting show that we have today. A lot going on, man. Big move in the markets. Beautiful move that we had over the last 24 hours. A lot of assets up over 10%. Some even more than that. We'll talk more about that in a little while. Of course, we have Matt joining us for the Market Watch section of the show. We have big arms deals going on. Whenever there's a big arms deal, you can bet that the market is going to pump because the reason why it's going to pump like that is because there's so much money that becomes liquid at that point. So Israel put in a big deal, or it was announced that they're going to buy $3 billion worth of arms with from us, from the U.S., which of course is money that they took or they accepted from us anyway. But that money has already been taken by the powers that be. You'll feel that from inflation from the people, and so now it's going to be pushed back into the economy through that arms deal. So that has a good effect on your bottom line. That's one of the things we talked about yesterday. War in general is not bad for the markets. Unfortunately, we don't like war, but it is profitable. So Bitcoin, nice move up over 3%. You have other cryptos flying as well. Insect, which we're going to talk a little bit more about later, is took a nice move, took position in that one, and it is a nice move up over like 60% yesterday, up over 50% yesterday, I think more. We'll look at it. That's on the TON network, which we've talked about a number of times. TON, this network is amazing, and actually I went through some old wallets, and I think I took those guys out to dinner in Dubai, so I still have to look it up, but I think I took some of the big guys out, and they are really big guys. I remember that was a heck of a dinner. So the Asian markets are tepid. They have been pumping, though. The Asian markets have been pumping up until now, so I'm not surprised to see that the Asian markets are having a little bit of consolidation. They have been leading this charge as we move. And then oil has been just kind of sitting there in the low 70s. Gold slightly moving up. You know, these both had a pullback. Gold and silver both had a pullback, slightly moving. And Dow futures are up. Dow was up yesterday as well, about 150 points. Overall, markets are looking pretty healthy. Let's see here, DXY. The US dollar is up as well slightly. That's actually 0.2% is a decent move on the US dollar index. So that's probably why the Asian stocks are down. But of course, that's not doing anything to keep the US stock market down or crypto. And crypto just absolutely took off. Beautiful thing to see. All right, let's see here. What else we have? We have the arms race. Trump gained support after his conviction. So that's pretty interesting too. So you have Trump. He's been now convicted of whatever he was convicted for, being Trump, I think. No, I'm kidding. Trump was convicted in New York and in the hush money trial, which of course I have to imagine they're going to appeal. But he is looking at some jail time if they want to put it there, and I think they're going to give it to him. I mean, they've gotten this far. I'm not sure if he did much more than Bill Clinton did, but you know, Bill Clinton, on that note, that was where we really started messing up. Was back then, and people don't like to hear that, but you know, we went after Bill Clinton and impeached him, and you know, maybe that wasn't the smartest move. because I mean, really, what did he do? You know what I mean? Oh, he lied to the American. Oh, all right, whatever, guys. He had a girlfriend. The beginning of the end for the U.S. I mean, you know, like I think that we should not be impeaching people over stupid stuff like that. You know what I mean? I don't think it does much for the country. Let's see here. 5. I'm moving here. Well, I guess it's a question. It's a question. So T equals. It's a question. It's a question. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think that Bill Clinton was a big mistake? Impeaching him was a big mistake. It started all of this, right? And then everybody's always wanted to impeach everybody since then, I think. Anyway, that is fairly, that's what's going on. So now everybody is they're going to work on impeaching him. His support has gone up though since the conviction, and now of course it's convictions. Will you still vote for him? Will you still vote for a convict? I said. Trump rally is in Detroit this June 14 through 16. It's the People's Conference. Make sure to register for that. We will be there on location. Get yourself a 25% discount. You can just Google the People's Convention. Get a 25% discount with Impact Money. Impact Money is the code. Get yourself a discount. We look forward to seeing everybody there. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Super excited about it. That's the People's Convention there in Detroit. And the big guy is going to be there along with a lot of other big guys. I can pull that up and then I'm going to the People's Convention. Look at this here. The People's Convention. Boom. Here we go. We got the big guys here. Of course, Vivek is being really pushed for the VP role. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. The other guy that's being really pushed for this VP role is this guy right here, Byron Donalds. Byron Donalds. Those are the two big ones. That doesn't mean that's who he's going to pick. But you can see everybody's here. Carrie Lake is here. My friend here, Scott Pressler. We have Roger Stone is coming. Laura Trump, Jack Proziak. So a lot of big names, really just titans in the space. They're going to be here at this People's Conference. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Get your tickets today. Then as well, I will be in New York City, probably starting tomorrow night. It's not far from me, from DC. It's about 3 hours. Okay, but we have our first ever Bitcoin Palooza. Bitcoin Palooza. You can sign up at Luma, lu.ma/Bitcoin Palooza. You can also just Google Bitcoin Palooza, all one word, I think, or two words, and you'll get to us. But join us. I'd love to see everybody. I will be there in person. And we're going to have live performances by the Coinheads, which is a band with our friend Randy, as well as other things. Okay, we have a couple 200-300 people that are already coming, and this is going to be a lot of fun. It should be a lot of fun. Now, this is not one of my galas. Okay, this is the DGen event, Bitcoin maximalist types. G-Gens. We're actually going to have the event at Public Key, which is the local. I'm not sure if that's updated on the page, but you're hearing it here first. It'll be at Public Key, which is the world's first, or at least New York City's first, Bitcoin, quote unquote dive bar, Bitcoin bar, Public Key, Pub Key. For your public keys, right? Your public keys in crypto. And so that's what it's a play on. So we're going to have it there. It's a historic venue. It'll be a historic Bitcoin Palooza, our first ever Bitcoin Palooza. We're excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. As I said, it's not like one of my galas. I do see some old friends signing up. It is different. Okay. It is a different animal, but we are going to have a lot of fun and look forward to seeing people. And I will be there. It's during Tech Week. Tech Week is a big week up in New York City. So it's New York Tech Week. There's a lot of money in town. There's a lot of different projects. Can't wait to get there. I'll also do some interviews and bring some content from there. So really looking forward to it. So without further ado, let's bring on the big guy, Matt Dixon. Sir Matt, how are you?
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah. So what a wonderful day on the markets.
Quite a move in the markets, right? I had exited some things and then I hopped back in.
Yeah, it's been really nice. So we had some good news out yesterday, or last few hours, day or so anyway. Bitcoin ETF was approved in Thailand by the SEC there. Yep. So the news just keeps coming and rolling and rolling. More good news coming through. So we were talking yesterday, weren't we, about the positive outlook for cryptocurrency. So, I mean, I'll just jump straight. Actually, I'm not even sharing, am I? I need to share the screen, of course. First of all, that would help.
That'll help.
Yeah. But it has been a great day. Bitcoin has had a particularly good move. And as I actually posted yesterday, before the main move happened, about this Thailand SEC giving the green light to their first crypto or first Bitcoin spot ETF. So I'm trusting you can see my screen there.
I sure can. Look at that. There we go. This is the DXY. This is the US dollar index.
Yeah, so we'll come back to that. But I mean, being with there just by chance, we might as well start there. So we've got this kind of move down. Unfortunately, it looks corrective, but we did anticipate further move down. We already had this Y wave labeled lower down. So we expected it to go lower. And of course, the dollar index, the dollar itself, is inversely correlated against risk assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, cryptocurrencies, S&P 500 stock markets, that kind of thing. So risk assets, basically the dollar is inversely correlated. So normally when the dollar goes down, you get a pump in risk assets. And that's exactly what we've seen. So we had a good fall in dollar index, but then we got a bit of a rise. So we're just getting a bit of a pullback right now on cryptocurrency. So we'll jump back to Bitcoin, and I think I'll open it out a bit. So we did say very clearly yesterday that this move, and I'll just sort of highlight the move we're talking about from the top there, downwards. I mean, this move was corrective, and we say this over and over, but it's worth doing it. We may have new listeners, and it's actually worth just reinforcing this, that when we see a solid move to the upside, an impulsive move to the upside, and we know this is impulsive. So, for example, here, we could count this, potentially as a wave 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, 4 down, 5 up. Now, the important thing to notice is that this potential wave 4 down does not overlap into territory of this wave 1 here. The first move up here would be counted perhaps as wave 1, wave 2 down, and 3 up, and then the 4 down does not overlap into territory of wave 1. If it does, it's what's called a corrective move, which is against the trend, but it's not. There's no overlap here in this upwards move, so it's an impulsive move. So the impulsive direction right now is up. And then the corrective direction, this price movement, which is a kind of bull flag. And a bull flag, you basically got a flagpole here, and you got the flag waving in the wind. And then you would normally get a push up from the flag, which is precisely what's happened. But what I want to notice here is that whichever wave down you look at, whether it's this small wave down, you've got overlap with the move up here, or the bigger wave down, then up and then down again, then up again. Basically, the up here has overlapped the move down here. There's constant overlap here, whereas with an impulsive move, there isn't overlap. So these are really important things to notice. Just when you're looking at a chart, straight away, these things need to jump out at you. And one thing we will do today is we'll take a little bit of a look at eBay and a couple of the calls that eBay has done, because eBay is a very, very important and powerful tool. And it's not that it tells you precisely which asset to buy, when to buy and sell, and so on, but it's a powerful tool. It's like if you think about a Formula One racing car, or in fact, another analogy, I used to do woodwork at school, and we all had the same tools. Me and my mates all had the same woodworking tools to work with. Now, the monstrosity that I would make out of it was awful, but my mates would make some amazing chess set, cabinet, whatever it might be, because they knew how to use the tools. Now, we're using the same tools, I just didn't know how to use them, so I couldn't make anything useful. Some of my mates were very, very good at woodwork. They could make some amazing things, like, as I say, cabinets and all sorts, because they knew how to use their tools. It's the same with trading. You can have the most powerful tools, and eBay is a powerful tool, what they call one of the sharpest tools in the box. It is very powerful, but it's useless by itself. If there was a tool, and just think about this logically, if there was a tool out there anywhere in the market that could give you guaranteed buys and sells for profit, the central banks would not be in the mess they're in today. They would not need to be borrowing and printing money, QE, all this kind of stuff. They could effectively just trade the markets for profit, but it cannot be done. It's not as simple as that. All that we can do is give you the best tools, and we can also teach you how to use those tools. So eBay itself cannot be used as a simple buy-sell tool, but it's a powerful tool that you can use other filters, other analysis tools that you can, well, it actually, just to put it in a nutshell, it saves me hours upon hours of time every day reviewing the market. There's 20,000 cryptocurrencies out there. You can't possibly review them all and identify which ones you should be looking at for potential buy-sell inclusion in your portfolio. But what eBay does, it takes away a massive amount of that hard work and enables you to identify just a handful of upgrades and downgrades that are worth looking at and doing a bit more due diligence to decide whether it's a buy or a sell or should be included in your portfolio. So, in fact, I'll just jump over briefly. We'll come back to the charts, but I'll just jump very briefly into this is the eBay website, which is, as you can see at the top there, eBay, so that's evai.io. And that's the eBay website. And then you can go straight into View Live Ratings, which is the tab there. So just click on that View Live Ratings, and the ratings will come up. So for example, straight away, we can just see Bitcoin is a AAA. So these things are rated right down from D right up to AAA. AAA is the highest rated security. In other words, it's as cryptos come, it is as solid as they come. It's rock solid. And the eBay ratings uses artificial intelligence, and it uses adaptive computing to handle masses of data to actually come up with these ratings and evaluate them and give you usable information that can empower your trading. It's the tool that empowers you to make better trading decisions, but it's not to be used alone. So for example, Bitcoin AAA, and just look at the the performance we've had on Bitcoin. We can just click into Bitcoin over here and see 24-hour performance over 3%. It's been a fantastic mover. Now that on its own is great. It's a top grade asset. It hasn't been upgraded because it can't be upgraded. It's already a top graded asset. But if we just jump back to where we are with the ratings yesterday, so bear in mind this was a top rated asset. So if you're interested in the lower risk end of the crypto spectrum, you would probably focus on the AAA rated assets, AAA, maybe AA, or maybe A rated. So if you want a kind of low risk portfolio in crypto terms, obviously crypto is highly volatile, but in crypto terms, you would look for the higher rated assets, Bitcoin being one of them. You would then look at the actual chart, and you need to know a little bit about charting. You need to be educated. If you're driving a Formula One racing car, I could drive a Formula One racing car, but not very well. I would not be able to win a Formula One race, because I might have the best car in the world, but you also need to be able to know how to drive it. Same with these eBay tools. One of the best tools in the world, but you need to be able to know how to drive it. And you look at other things, and a driver would take into account all sorts of things when they're driving the car. So here we've got this corrective move down, and we can look at all sorts of indicators, like, for example, whether there's divergence in place. We can look at moving averages. We can look at Bollinger Bands. There's all sorts of things we can look at. But I'm just looking at a simple metric here. I want a AAA rated asset, and I got that from eBay ratings. Bitcoin was one of them. I then see basically a bull flag. It's telling me that following this correction, and I know it's correction because the waveform, following the correction is going to be a push to the upside. Now, we said this yesterday in the show yesterday, that even if we got a tiny bit more of a pullback, the next move on Bitcoin is to the upside. That's precisely what we've seen. We saw more than 3% overnight with Bitcoin. And as we so often say, the charts will sometimes tell you the move that is coming before the news actually comes out to actually validate that move and give that move power. And so, for example, yesterday we got the move from the SEC in Thailand saying that they've now authorized a regulated spot Bitcoin ETF in Thailand. Now, Thailand is a massive crypto market. It's one of the highest adoption rates in the world, again, not the highest, but among the highest. So it's a great place. So now they've allowed this Bitcoin ETF, authorized it. Obviously, more money flowed in. And there's massive amounts have flowed into these ETFs over the time, whether it be Bitcoin ETF or Ethereum ETF. It's allowed a lot of money to flow into these assets. And so it's very, very positive. So again, we just combine the eBay ratings data, but we'll just look at a couple of other interesting points on the eBay platform. So we have what's called a watch list here. So I can click on the left-hand tab there and look at watch list. And what I do here, again, this is what really saves me time. I will look for the big movers. Now, just because it's a big mover does not mean necessarily it's going to move, but it highlights it. It's one to watch. And these ones to watch, basically what I'll then do, I will collect my watch list, the big movers, and I'll then do my own DD to identify which way they're likely to be moving. So to Bruce's, he'd be very unhappy to see this. Doggy has actually been downgraded, quite a big downgrade there. So I'm just saying, not necessarily mean the price is going to crash, because actually if we click into Doggy, we can see actually the 24-hour volume is up 11%. That's pretty good. And we can dive in and we can look at the chart on it and see whether that's relevant and valid and so on. So that's Doggy Coin, just one to look at. So what I've done, I've highlighted that. I will then go and do a bit more due diligence, and I scroll down and see there's a Yearn Finance is a -2 there. I can see Loom Network is a +4. So once again, I'll click in and look at what's happened with Loom Network. Well, volume, 24-hour volume down 28%. That's a little bit worrying, but maybe it's a sign that we've had a fall. We had a -3.7% fall over the last 7 days. Maybe it's had a fall, maybe it's ready for rebound. So I will do more due diligence and I'll decide whether I should be buying Loom. So I'll look at the chart itself and try to make some decisions there. But as I'm saying, what this does for me is there's 20,000 cryptos out there. I mean, here's another one, Troy, is a 4 downgrade. It's done a lot of the work for me. I can then focus on maybe half a dozen cryptos instead of having to wade through 20,000 cryptos. I mean, eBay itself, there's only real decent data for us available on about 700 or 800 of them. So even if you're to focus on 700 or 800, it's a mammoth, pretty much impossible task unless you've got a big team of analysts. So this is doing the work of a big team of analysts, but you as the final trader still need to make your decisions and do your own analysis and due diligence, but it's really helpful. So what I'll do, I've saved these the big upgrades and downgrades. I'm going to start each day just giving a bit of an update on what the day before's upgrade downgrade was, what the result was, and how effective it is, because I want you to actually learn how to use this tool, because it'll just make your life so much easier. So from now on, Bruce permitting, impact money permitting, we'll just have a little short bit each day just to give a brief overview of what the EV ratings did.
I mean, as you know, I made a bunch of money with this tool, so it's great, and you can't study them all. And what I would do is just as things moved from one up or one down or whatever it was, I would just move my money, and we had some really, really impressive gains.
Yeah, I mean, that's a simple way to do it. You can, but as I say, I would strongly recommend. I know Bruce is obviously busy, and that's probably, again, maybe for people who are busy, it's probably really useful because it does a lot of the legwork for you, a lot of the donkey work, as they say. in evaluating all of the tokens, and then you only need to focus on half a dozen to actually make your decisions. So that was Bitcoin. Again, we did say yesterday very clearly that we're expecting a push higher, and it's highly likely that we're going to actually continue, and we will see further highs on that. So that is Bitcoin. Ethereum is pretty much the same. It's not being quite as impressive at this stage as Bitcoin, and that's because the actual news that came out was Bitcoin specific in terms of the SEC in Thailand. But we've actually seen some good moves across the board. So we did mention again yesterday that this looked kind of, it still looks as though we may have further correction down to go. I mean, we've had a push up because we basically had what seems to be possibly an A wave down. This would be an ABC, B wave up, and we may have a C wave down to come. But even so, overall, this looks like it's corrective. And so at some point, I expect new highs above that local high there of 188 and probably above the previous local high as well of 209. And at some point, we'll be challenging the all-time high, I suspect. So although short term, again, we may still see a little bit of downside. And we've got ISM manufacturing figures out today out of the US. It's important. It's not one of the big major movers, price movers, but it is important, ISM manufacturing. It gives us a snapshot of the health of the US economy. And the figure of above 50 tells us that it's basically that manufacturing is growing. And if it's below 50, it's declining. Now we're expecting it to be just above 50. And I would say that's probably in what we would call the Goldilocks zone. You don't want it too high because the economy is potentially overheating. You don't want it in negative territory. You don't want your economy to be shrinking. But if it's just into positive territory above that 50 level, then as I say, you're in the Goldilocks zone. That's probably quite good. And at the moment, as we have said, the Fed are walking a tightrope. They need to try to maintain growth and they need to tackle inflation. It's a very difficult job. I don't know. I personally, I don't think they'll be able to manage it medium to long term, but they're doing a pretty good job so far that we do still have reasonably robust US growth, even though it's slowing. There are signs it's slowing, but there is still some growth there, and inflation has slowed a bit, but it's still 40% over target. So just looking at time-wise, I'll flip through a few reasonably quickly, but we will look at gold because again, we've had that move down, which appears to be 5 waves, some kind of 5 waves. So wave 1 down, an ABC 2 up, perhaps wave 3 down, 4 up, 5 down. So that would be an A wave, some kind of B wave, and now we're maybe chopping down. So I've targeted maybe a bit lower on gold. That would tell us that inflation is probably not a problem at the moment. It's still above target, well above target, but it has actually declined from, remember, it was getting close, above 8%, somewhere around there. And it's fallen dramatically. Yes, we stumbled a little bit around where we are now, around the on CPI 3% plus. PCE, we're 2.8%. So we're still above target, but it's still come down a long way. So there's a lot of good work being done in terms of taming inflation, but there's still more to be done. So if inflation does continue not to be a problem, then we probably still see gold fall back a little bit further. But because this looks like overall corrective, then, and again, we need to scroll out a little bit to see that, the fact that we've got basically an A, B, and working on a C wave to the downside, the fact it's corrective means, like we said with Bitcoin yesterday, corrective, we may see a bit lower, but we're going to be expecting new all-time highs to come in the reasonably near future for gold. So I'm positive that. We've seen oil had that, wow, let me just check. That's fallen a bit, hasn't it?
Crazy, right? It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. So we did say, and again, it's really good actually just to follow this show, because even yesterday we were saying that we tested this support line many times. This was underlying support, but I said if we break it, and if it breaks solidly, then you'd expect continuation to the downside. Now that's exactly what we've seen. That's why these things are good for risk reward. On all of these occasions, 3, 4, 5 occasions, you could have bought with a stop loss just below, and you'd have made money coming back into profit. Yesterday, you could have bought stop loss just below, and you'd actually lost, but it'd been a small loss because your stop loss was below this risk reward line, this solid support here. So even when the market goes against you, you actually limit your losses to a tiny amount, whereas your profits can be reasonably substantial in comparison. That is what managing your risk reward is all about. So we've seen a sharp pullback on oil, and I don't know offhand whether that's because of a reduction in geopolitical tensions. I'm not quite sure what's going on right now with Israel and surrounding, but I still understand there's tension going on there. But at the moment, nobody's taking it seriously in terms of being a risk. Maybe that's a mistake. Time will tell. But also, it is about the economy. So economies, obviously, if economies are booming, there's a massive demand for oil, and so it's all about supply and demand. But right now, demand, maybe there's more supply out of the likes of Saudi Arabia. I think Bruce mentioned yesterday that somebody had increased supply. If that's the case, that would tell us exactly why the price of oil is falling. If people are increasing supply without there being additional demand, then that would mean that the price of oil would fall. But anyway, from a technical...
they opened up some more of the strategic petroleum reserve here in the U.S. I think it's more of a I don't know how much I think the price was moving down anyway, but that definitely has a psychological impact, if nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, maybe anyway. I mean, this is all interlinked. So maybe they're releasing reserves because they want prices to come down, because oil is a major constituent, really, of inflation, the price of oil. Because it is used so massively by consumers, by industry, by shipping, by transport, by everything, even the army. Everyone uses oil. So maybe it's just a strategic, you talked about strategic reserves, but a strategic decision to release oil into the market from those reserves to lower price, because lowering price would lower inflation. Maybe they really, really want to see lower inflation so that they can actually have room to maneuver with interest rates to be able to lower rates. At the moment, they cannot reasonably lower interest rates because inflation is too elevated. But this lowering of the oil price could bring inflation down to more reasonable, palatable levels to enable the Fed to actually lower rates at the next meeting. So
they have so many tools at their disposal. This is what I've come to learn. It's just like they are pretty good at it. I mean, the fact that they can just print so much money out of thin air and keep everything moving in a semi-positive direction is impressive.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think we did briefly, I'm not sure whether, we did touch on DXY, that basically expecting maybe, potentially the correction could be complete here, because this WX, we may have 3 waves there if you looked at it in a shorter time frame. In fact, I'll just do that, just have a quick look at where we are in the shorter time frame. Potentially that's just opening it out into making it the shorter time frame here. So WX, highly unlikely that's complete. So I do expect probably a further turn down in DXY. And what would that tell me? That would tell me that it's going to be probably good for risk assets. So whilst we may be getting a bit of a pullback just now, just begin to get a bit of a pullback on risk assets as the dollar rises a little bit, I think probably we are still going to expect a further move down, because the Y wave will be made up of 3 waves itself. I don't think that small little 3-wave move down there is enough to constitute a Y wave. So you have to have a good look to the wave count as well. So you can see here, basically the A wave was made up of probably 3 waves. The B wave was corrective. The W wave here was corrective. So we've got A, B, W, that's all corrective. A, B, C here to give us a corrective X wave. And then basically we've got probably an A, B, and maybe a C down to come for dollar index. So that is telling me that if we get that, it's going to be good for risk assets. But also, if we do move down there, I think this is a corrective move down because of all the overlap. This overlaps this, etc. This overlaps this. It's all very much overlapping. So if we get a move down to here, I will start to think that maybe we're going to see a short-term top on the risk asset markets. But right now, things are looking good. But I just want people to be aware. It's a sort of warning notice to say that, yes, I'm expecting risk assets to continue to rise, but we just need to be aware that it's probably not going to be a massive rise just yet. As I say, with Bitcoin, if this was a triangle, and you could potentially still count this as a triangle, this move here, so you can have from the W here, A, B, C, D, E as a potential triangle. And then we've got, that's a possibility. And then we've got the terminal move up. So remember, triangles are pre-terminal. The thrust from it is terminal. So we could continue to push higher to possibly to meet or maybe even beat all-time highs. But if this is a triangle, this move now is terminal, and we'd expect then a pullback. Doesn't mean it's a complete turnaround, but just the next move, if we rise to here, could be expected. We would expect some kind of pullback before we then probably move higher again. So again, it's worth taking notice of these wave formations.
Indeed.
Now, do you need to move me on, Bruce? Because I know you've always got other things to show.
Yeah, yep. But awesome report this morning.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm doing a showcase on one of these TON network coins. So you might want to watch it.
Yeah.
Insect.
Just very briefly, TON was upgraded, by the way,
nice.
And we got a massive pump on TON. I just showed
massive pump on TON leading into the show. I know.
Yeah, so we were down at 6 yesterday. We're above 7. This doesn't show the full gain, but it was a massive gain. Look at that green candles there on TON coin.
Green candles on TON coin. I mean, big move, and the ecosystem, going along with it. I mean, it kind of reminds me of different points that we've been in over the time. When Ethereum started pumping really hard, and when other coins start pumping really hard, when that is the currency that people are using, for it, then a lot of times that can be really interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna run through that.
Lovely. Thank you for that. Thank you everybody for listening, and I look forward to catch up tomorrow. And I look forward to listening to this review now on TON coin. Thank you.
You got it on Insect on the TON coin. Awesome.
Oh, Insect, I know. Yes.
Yeah. I sent Matt the thing last night. Check these guys out. So I did enter with a bit of a move last night before we did the show, anticipating the show, and also watching. I had exited some markets, which is always a little bit annoying before a big pump. And so I decided, this one looks really promising. After looking at it a bit, I thought, this one looks really promising. Number of reasons, right? Number one, of course, this TON network is absolutely exploding. The TON network is just, it is going, and you saw some big moves yesterday from there. I can actually bring it up real quick. Let's take a look at that while we're talking about it, because the TON coin, and this coin as well, I believe, I know I took some of the big guys out to dinner in Dubai. I remember, because the dinner cost me like $1,200 or something. And I would remember anyway, but anyway, they sent me some TON, and I still had it in an old wallet. So that's pretty interesting. So TON coin, it's right here. Let's see, TON. Where's TON? Right here, number 9 in the world, up 6.5% today. Okay, big move yesterday. Here we go, right here, boom, right? And then, as we always say, a rising tide raises all ships, right? That's what we say. And the reason we say that is because, of course, it's true. And when Bitcoin goes up, everything goes up. So when your trading pair, when your network is TON coin, then obviously you are moving up as well. So here we are, TON, or Insect right here. It's trading at INS. There is another INS I noticed that's on the Bitcoin, and this is different. So INS is the trading symbol. Insect is the coin. But you can see here up above 13%. And of course, depending on what you're looking at, okay, depends on what that number is going to be, but up around 15% here on the 24-hour as we are here. But big move yesterday. This just came on CoinMarketCap and really explosion. But the interesting part here, you look at this market cap. So the market cap there sitting right about 1.5 million. And then you start to look at, okay, so then what is behind the company? What am I buying here, right? And that is how you can start to then decide, well, is this a good buy? Because I know you see the price 0.0000 whatever, right? Well, it's hard to say. Well, look at the market cap and then look what they have going on here. So this is their website. It's Insects already. So I done a screenshot, so it looks a little bit double here, but it won't as I move on. Insect is ready to take over the next bull run. This is the website, Insects with an S.VIP. Okay. How to buy Insect. And I'll go over that really quickly for everybody. I'm going to move this down for a minute. So the easiest way to buy Insect is through their through the wallet that they sent over to me. It's called the Ton Keeper. And so if you go to the Ton Keeper, this you can buy Ton right from here. So I'm going to share this tab is set. So I'm going to move around a little bit, right? So this is the Ton Keeper. You can get it on iOS. You can get it on Android. Okay. And Ton is from the same people that started Telegram. So that tells you a lot as well about this ecosystem. Okay. So you can buy Ton here. You just, you can get it on your, get it with your credit card or whatever, right? You can pay with all types of different things here. And that is on the Ton Keeper, TONKEEPER. So that's the easiest way for Americans to get Ton. Now, if you're out of America and you have access to a lot of other different platforms to buy, then just buy it. It's not on Coinbase though, which you're really missing out because this ecosystem is really exploding. Okay, back to our website here, our Ton. So there's 10 billion. There's zero tax, but they do have, it says zero tax, 10% marketing and development, and 5% P2E. And so that's another thing, right? So then you start to look at this and you say, okay, it's got about a $1.5 million market cap, which is really nothing, right? What do they have? What do they have? And I'm going to jump around here a little bit. They have an Insect play to earn game that's up and running here. Let's just look at this very short. I think this, yeah, here we go. Welcome, Insectors. So this is a play to earn game. You can earn Insect playing this game. So I'm saying, okay, this is pretty developed. So that's pretty cool. How do I get out of this part of it here? There we go. So play to earn, big, guys. You know what I mean? Like that's big. You can do it in a play. You got a play to earn game. You're moving, right? You're moving. Then as well, they have 3D movable NFTs. These are, movable NFTs, but they have, so if you go to buy their NFTs, then you come over here, share this tab instead. Here we go. I should be on this tab. Okay. And you can see that you can buy the NFT right here. Okay. So the Insect exclusive NFT, I mean, how about this ecosystem? For about 175 Ton is the floor price. Okay. which TON right now is about 750, give or take, maybe more. You can buy their NFTs, and the NFT gets you this is a 100 unit limited edition exclusive NFT that generates 50% revenue from the trending bot and 50% from EVM, which is an NOM EVM launchpad. So that's the other thing. We will be the first to offer 50% revenue share of the launchpad. Now, this is major, guys. The current market leader on PinkCell, and they do not have a non-EVM. So we'll be the first to offer EVM and non-EVM. And if you're in, it says, according to our predictions, each NFT holder will earn 5 digits in dollars per month. 5 digits, meaning thousands of dollars per month. So, hey, even if you cut that in half, that's a decent amount, right? Or even if you cut it in a quarter, that's probably a decent amount. So they have their roadmap here that they've been working on, decided to do the project, protect people from scammers. They have, and they've been fulfilling this. They got the CoinMarketCap listing, which just happened, ready to deliver on his promises after all the hard work and dedication. Insector God, they call him, helps the insects to expand the army. Twitter, the team expansion, Twitter and YouTube influencers, insect burn event. So they are as well planning on burning some of the $10 billion supply in order to keep the price up. And they're also going to Crypto Expo, which is one of my favorite conferences in Europe later this year. CEX listings, they're all planning on this stuff. But let me, because I bounced around here just a little bit. So they landed on the TON chain, which I think is a pretty good move. Now the INS pad, this is going to be pretty interesting. So the INS pad, okay, and I can share this tab as well. Let's see here. Never mind. Okay, so the INS pad is the launch pad. That is their native launchpad. Okay, decided to launch a perfect launchpad that will empower cryptocurrency projects with the ability to distribute tokens and raise liquidity. The Insector God aims to list the best and most unique projects on INSPAD. INSPAD will help other good projects to raise enough liquidity and funds in the near future. And investors need to hold enough INS token, the insect token, and stake them to get the WL slots in the upcoming, that's whitelist slots in the upcoming IDOs, which is the initial DEX offering. So I look at this stuff and I say, okay, we have a developed ecosystem here. Looks to me like a developed project, and it only has a $1.5 million market cap, and it's growing a lot. And so I think it's pretty cool. I think you should check it out. It's insects with an S. Insects.vip is the website. Easy to find as well on CoinMarketCap. And that's, it's pretty cool. So to date, they have paid out $620,000 in 45 days, and that's the NFT. It gives lifetime income. They've already paid out $620,000. Their TON, as I mentioned, their TON trending bot is running. The game is live. Tournament is going on. Okay, nice clear white paper too. I'll show you a little bit about that. They're working on the launch EVM and non-EVM launchpad. That's pretty big. You want to be able to. We've all had our coins in one network and wanted them on another network, or wanting to move them around and everything else. So, important things: how to get yourself some insect. So, in order to get yourself some insect, you are going to want to go to the TON Keeper. The TON Keeper. So I'm going to share this tab. So that's TON Keeper. If you're in America, if you're somewhere else, you can get TON coins anywhere. TONkeeper.com. So you go to TONkeeper.com. So it's your very personal wallet. Receive, buy, and spend crypto with ease. You can download your keys and everything on this wallet. It's a nice wallet. Works really well. And you can buy some TON using your credit card here. Okay. And then once you have some TON tokens, then you head over to the DEX, which is called, let me get it right here. Let's get Insect. We'll walk you through this real quick. So you buy them on TON, you get some TON on TON Keeper. And this was all very easy, by the way. It was not hard. And then we head over here, and they're on D-Dust. And this is the DEX for TON coins. You see 10 million in volume. But that's and you see Insect here is actually number 4. Insect is number 4 right now. Okay. Number 4 on D-Dust. So you go to D-Dust, and then here you are. Okay. And you can connect, you can buy. Once you connect your wallet, you'll have your TON coin on your keeper, on your TON keeper, and you just connect the wallet, and then you can swap right into Insect right there, INS. Okay, so that's D-Dust, ddust.io. The founders are quite responsive as well, and I'm pretty bullish. Not gonna lie, guys, I'm pretty bullish on this one. I think the TON ecosystem, I think that that coin is going to move even more. I think that it's going to go up from here. Well, I'll pull up TON again. TON on CoinMarketCap. Big mover. This is number 9, guys. Number 9 in the world. TON coin. So this ecosystem is really moving. But we could expect this to really move up even more. Let's just look how far in between. So TON is number 9 and has a market cap of 17 billion. Doggy coin is at 23. So it would be a big move to do that, but I could see it happening. I love the doggy coin. I know everyone calls it Dogecoin. I love the doggy coin. Everyone knows that. I'm a big fan. Anyway, there you have it, guys. Insect, INS, $INS is the trading symbol. Look for more from these guys. Insects.vip is the website. And then as well, TON in this TON community, TON coin is doing really well. So eyes on that. We're going to be keeping our eyes on this one. Maybe we'll even do some events together. But Insect. All right. So we've done it again. Another great show. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for joining Matt. I appreciate the report. Hopefully everybody enjoyed on their TV sets in Texas and Louisiana. It is always a pleasure to work with you guys and do this. I'll have more too as well. I was talking with the great Fly Mackey, the man with the plan, and we're doing a lot. We're putting a lot of stuff together. And so if you want to get on TV, if you want to reach millions of people in their homes, as well as we stream across YouTube and LinkedIn and X and everything else. But if you want to reach a lot of people where they are, on their TVs in their home, let us know. You can go to smartmoneyculture.tv, smartmoneyculture.tv, and you can get involved. We can, as Fly always says, write us a check. But you don't even have to write a check. You can just open up credit lines as we scale this thing. So we're moving in a lot more in many different states as well. We're looking at the markets. How much liquidity do the people have in those markets? Phoenix, we have our eye on Phoenix as well. Right now, big distribution for us in Houston, as well as some other areas of Texas. But these are places with a large amount of people that have disposable income. And remember, I talked about it yesterday. So, we always thought there's like 3 classes, right? There's like the wealthy, there's the middle class, and then there's poor. But there's really more like 5 different classes now, or levels. You have the ultra rich, you have the affluent, then you have the middle class, then you have this one under the middle class, which we don't really even have a name for yet, but they still have disposable income, and then you have the poor. Probably a lot has to do with those 5 levels now, is all of the freebies that are given out by the U.S. government. Anyway, always a pleasure, guys. Thanks again, and we will see you in a few hours. We'll be live again on your TV sets there in Texas and Louisiana and around the world. Cheers.
Your voice is powerful. When combined with social engagement, it's a force for change. Decentralized media paired with free speech is the catalyst for an empowered world and a unified, invaluable ecosystem. Join global